and I don't judge the feeling. And what happens is the mental body has a story. The mental body says, okay, for example, in this moment, the mental body here might say, I expect he's going to ask these questions, right? Now, these are only the questions I'm prepared to deal with, because this is the mental body's version of what's going on. Now, you don't ask the questions, the mental body goes like, now what's going on here, right? This is not right. This is not how it's supposed to be, because you're asking the different questions to the ones that you're supposed to be asking. The mental body wants to control everything. The mental body cannot cope with the unknown. It has to have everything. It has to have a beginning and an ending in each step. The mental body's version of awareness is enlightenment. There's a place to arrive, there's a firework display, there's eternal grinning, and I know everything forever and ever, amen, right? That's the mental body's version. Well, I tell you what, it's not like that at all.
You sure?
It's not like that. In my experience, it's not like that at all. It's about waking up each day and working with the joystick and going, what's happening, right? And responding to it rather than reacting. And where I react, to go into myself and say, what is blocked here that causes me not to be able to accept this, right?
To think it should be different.
Yeah, to think it should be different. What happened to me that caused me to not be able to move here, where I go into resistance? And so to go and adjust that means I go into the emotional signature. It's going to be fear, it's going to be anger, it's going to be grief, it's going to be a combination. Might be predominantly one of those. If it's fear and I sit in the fear, I'll find there's anger underneath. If I sit in the anger, I'll find there's grief underneath. Once I release that, or once I integrate it, right, and allow it to be there, and allow it to, it's like allowing my heart to have its way with me. We don't want the heart to have its way. I mean, and the heart,
only when it's good.
Only when it feels good. Only when it's according to the story.
Right, there you go.
When it's not according to the story of the mental body, we're not interested. We're not sedate. Right. So a good example is this. There used to be a time when I did presentations when I felt anxiety before. And not so much anymore, very seldom. Because I trusted now. But there was a time when I felt anxiety. Anxiety is an interesting word, any exit, right? It says any exit anxiety. What anxiety means is I want a way out of here, or I'm not present, is what it also means. I'm not here, I'm in my head. And so, in the earlier years of my life, if I had anxiety, I would have coffee, I would have a cigarette, I would do things to mask it over. Now when that anxiety comes up, I go, you're trying to tell me something? I'm not in my heart. I'm in my head. I'm trying to, I'm not here, or I'm trying to get out of here. So what I do, I sit with that feeling of anxiety. I just put my attention, and it's usually here somewhere, and I'll just sit with it. I'll put not to do anything, I'll just put my attention and be with it. And what happens is, as I walk into the presentation, I sit with that feeling, and what that feeling enables me to do the presentation from the heart, not from the head. Now, if I'm ever in my head about it, it's going to be there. So what I'm doing is I'm using the emotional body to navigate myself in each moment. And that's the same thing. Through all my life experiences, I'm always letting the emotional body be the rudder. The mental body will lie through its teeth. It will tell you whatever story it wants to tell you to get its way. It can justify anything. But the emotional body doesn't lie. Whether it's fear, anger, and grief, whether it's feelings of elation, whatever, it's going to feel in that moment. It's going to be in the moment with what's going on. The physical body doesn't lie too. We just not got to know how to read it. The physical body is always in the moment and always reflecting where we can't be in the moment. So learning to read that too. The mental body, I mean, I can sit here with you and then start going off to somewhere else in my thoughts. And not be here with you, right? That's the trappings of the mental body, and we live in an age where we live in that place. We live in the mental realm. We're not showing up in the moment where the only real activity is possible, where the only life takes place. And the reason we're not showing up in the moment is it's uncomfortable. And the reason it's uncomfortable is because there's stuff going on in the emotional body that's unintegrated. And until we take care of that, it doesn't care how much good thinking we do. It doesn't even matter how many practices, physical stuff we do. Just sitting, being in the moment, and feeling it as it is, that's what enables us to come back into the moment. That's the heart of the matter.
It's beautiful. So one thing I do is work with people who aren't even thinking about this process. And on some level it seems futile to invite them to what I know to be helpful feeling. On the other hand, it's more futile to try to toy with the physical experience I have. Because I know, well, the way I see that as it's a reflection that's already happened. By the time it shows up physically, it's already happened.
Yeah, it's already unfolding. But the thing is to be integrated. So even though I place an emphasis on the emotional body, the thing is to be integrated. In other words, the physical and the integrative means emotional, mental, and physical. But integrity is about knowing the right building materials, the right applications for the right building materials. So for me, the most important thing is my integrity, right? And what do I mean by that practically? My integrity means that I go to my heart as the causal point of my experience. Yet I honor the mental. I love the mental body. Without the mental body, how would I do my work, right? How would I write the books? How would I stand up and do presentations? But the thing is to know, what is the role of the mental body? What is the role of the physical? How would I experience this wonderful experience without my physical body? I love this body. When I'm doing my presentations, I'm doing the emotional, mental, and physical body. I'm feeling in the moment what's appropriate to address, to go. I'm using the mental body to communicate that, and I'm using the physical body to illustrate that, right? So it's not about siding only with the emotional body. It's not about it's about being integrative. It's about having integrity. And integrity is only possible when we know the right application for each and we go to the right part for its purpose. If I go to my mental body to try and heal the causal point of my experience, I'll have no integrity. I'll be out of integrity. For example, if I just use my mental body as a means to gain the awareness for my presentations, in other words, if my presentations come out of reading books, I read all these books and then I come and I regurgitate what I've read, I don't have any integrity. Right? Okay, so my integrity comes from using my emotional body as the causal point of my experience. I dive into the experience, I have these emotional experiences, I work with the emotional body, I see what the impact it has. And out of that experience, not out of gathering it mentally, out of actually entering the direct experience emotionally, seeing the impact on my mental and physical world, then I come and give the presentation from that point of experience. Now, it comes from a point of integrity. Or another way of being out of integrity is I could go and ask someone to write a talk for me, a really good one. That's what our politicians do, right? They get someone to write a talk and then they read it and they sound really smart, but we know they don't have integrity because someone else is writing that speech. I mean, if you think about top religious leaders in this world, right, that are supposed to be the divine connection with God, and when they go and give public presentations, they read a speech. Give me a break.